watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Council of Ministers decides to raise the royalty fee for the telecommunications operators Omantel and Ooredoo next year. The Supreme Council for Planning discusses the outcomes of the national program to enhance the economic diversification Tanfeedh. And the Public Authority for Electricity and Water organizes the annual media forum to highlight its achievements in 2016. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. Oman's telecommunications companies will pay a royalty to the government of 12% of revenues in 2017. That is an increase from the current 7% royalty paid by Oman Telecommunications, Omantel and Ooredoo Oman. The Capital Market Authority said that the Council of Ministers had decided to raise the rate for next year. As the state revenues strained by low oil prices, the government has been looking for ways to increase its income. Omantel said a rate of 12% would have cost the company an additional 16 million riyals in the first 9 months of 2017. Meanwhile, Ooredoo Oman said the higher rate would have cost them 8.7 million riyals over the same period, or 23.3% of its net income. The Supreme Council for Planning in its meeting discussed the outcomes of the national program to enhance the economic diversification Tanfeedh. It also reviewed the domestic and international available financing mechanisms for a number of development projects. The meeting further discussed the national project for geographic information, through which the data in the related fields will be linked. The topics related to proposed mechanisms for management of industrial estates in the Sultanate were also reviewed during the meeting, which was headed by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud al-Sinadi, Minister of Commerce and Industry, Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council of Planning. The Public Authority for Electricity and Water, PAEW, organized at the Power Control Center in the Wilaya of Bosher today the annual media forum in the presence of Mohammed bin Abdullah al-Mahrouqi, Chairman of PAEW. All local media, including Oman News Agency, dailies and e-newspapers and Public Authority for Radio and Television, attended the forum. It reviewed the prominent achievements in 2016 in the water sector, including the number of implemented projects and the number of networks that have been opened in various regions of the Sultanate, in addition to the efforts in water loss control in 2016, and to highlight the most important indicators in this aspect. The forum also reviewed the PAEW's future projects. The two-day training program of media departments at public organizations, challenges and aspirations, organized by the Ministry of Information today, continued at Grand Hormuz Hotel under the auspices of Sheikh Khalid bin Umar Al Marhoon, Minister of Civil Service. The program aims at enhancing the skills and performance of employees at the public relations and media departments at various public organizations. The fourth stage of the program includes a number of working papers that cover the major challenges facing public organizations and its aspirations. Still to come in our news bulletin. A forum is held in the Wilaya of Adam with the aim to enhance the partnership among various private sector institutions. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Ministry of Manpower held a ceremony for the graduation of new batches from 2 institutes for fishermen qualification. The specialization of the graduates included commercial, industrial, marine and agricultural fields. The number of graduates stands at around 600 male and from 6 vocational training centers from around the governorates of the Sultanate. The graduates expressed their happiness on completion of their studies in the institutions. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Nasser bin Sulaiman Al-Sibani, Deputy Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television. The Royal Hospital obtained the Canadian Q-Mentum International accreditation on meeting the standards of excellence in quality care and services. Acquiring such accreditation is considered a great achievement for the hospital, as the evaluations show its obligation towards the highest safety and quality standards in providing health services. This also highlights the keenness of the Royal Hospital to develop the performance of its staff and the medical crew. Many people seek to donate blood. However, blood banks in the Sultanate suffer a sharp decline during the year, which called Health Services Department in the Ministry of Health to organize blood donation campaigns. The organizers of blood donation campaign headed to souks, malls and mosques in the governorates in order to find blood donors. The Ministry of Health, through these campaigns, aimed to fill the sharp decrease in blood banks in the Sultanate. It also aimed to activate the culture of social collaboration with blood-related patients. The Tourism Index reports pointed out that the number of visitors to the Sultanate witnessed an increase to reach 2.5 million by the end of October 2016. The total number of guests at 3- to 5-star hotels reached 1.2 million guests, according to the latest reports by the National Center for Statistics and Information. The latest statistics show that Gulf guests recorded reached more than 2.2 million persons. Meanwhile, the European guests reached more than 279,000, followed by the Indian guests standing at 245,000 persons. And finally, the American guests reached 5,100. A forum was held in the Wilaya of Adam in the Governorate of Al-Dakhiliya with the aim to enhance the partnership among various institutions, including the private sector and the small and medium enterprises, SMEs. The forum was organized by Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in coordination with a number of other sectors. It aimed to spread the culture of entrepreneurship among the community members, as well as to promote the products of SMEs and the craftsmen participating in the event. A ceremony was held at Al-Wafa Social Center in the Wilaya of Salalah to mark World Disabled Day. The event was organized by the Ministry of Social Development. The celebration included various activities performed by a number of disabled children, such as theatrical show and presentation of poems. At the end of the ceremony, the participants and supporters in the event were honored. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Council of Ministers decides to raise the royalty rate for the telecommunications operators Omantel and Ooredoo next year. The Supreme Council for Planning discusses the outcomes of the national program to enhance the economic diversification, Tanfeedh. And the Public Authority for Electricity and Water organizes the annual media forum to highlight its achievements in 2016. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.